Hey everybody, welcome back. It is once again Wild Wednesday. That one day of the week we remind each other of the tremendous health advantages we gain from eating real, whole, wild foods as much as possible. And if you're just getting started or at least want to build a consistent habit, start with one day a week or one meal a day. Start where you are. So I'm feeling really, really good because I did a check-in, right? Math does not lie. I did a check-in to see how I was doing so far, 1 month into my 3-month challenge. And wow, great results. That's always a boost. It's always an energetic boost. Progress, baby, progress pushes that motor to push itself a little bit harder. So I'm feeling really good. I thought what I'd do today is a review, because for many of you that are not long-time watchers or listeners that haven't heard me speak about the things I repetitively speak about and have been doing for decades, which is worth highlighting now as we move into the end of the year, where people are going to start to at least think about getting their stuff together, is the concept I called Formula One. And my Formula One concept was borrowed, if not stolen, from a car manufacturer more than 2 decades ago. I think it was Porsche, but my memory may not be that accurate. But I believe it was Porsche, and Porsche had this great advertisement of their race car. It was like a big picture of their race car, like in an x-ray view, so you could like kind of see through the car and see all the different components, like the engine and the shock absorbers and the transmission and all that stuff, right? And then the idea of the advertisement was this automobile, this race car was so highly tuned that they highlighted all the things they would need to make adjustments to in the car if they lowered the height of the car by 1 inch. They lowered the height by a car by 1 inch. They highlighted all the adjustments they would need to make in the internal workings of the car to leverage that height adjustment. And I found that fascinating. And when we play that simple idea out in real life, I think we take kind of like an upside down approach to things in our regular real world non-race car lives, right? We focus on the impact of not the basics, but we focus on the impact of the finesseful fine tunings, right? So that adjustment in that advertisement is only true because the car is such a high performance that it moves at, say, 200 miles an hour. And when you're moving that fast, little changes have huge impacts, right? Little changes have huge impacts when you're moving that fast. But if you were to go outside and lower your family vehicle, even if you have a sports car, by 1 inch, you wouldn't have to change anything to leverage that height change in terms of performance. You just don't move fast enough. It's just a pretty much non-impact, right? And a lot of us get caught into that. We get caught into the designer equipment or the specialized clothing or the super designer, super secret nutrient or the super designer protocol. We do these little things that we adopt in our lives, and we hope that they will have this big impact on our rate of progress when we're moving too slow for most things to have but a tiny impact. We must first move, right? We must first be moving down the road, and our rate of speed moving down the road is usually maximized by the basics, by doing the basics well. So as we move into the end of this year, getting ready for the new year that's coming faster than most people want to really get their mind around, you know, before you start to jump into all the little designer things you're going to add to make the changes you want in your life, make sure you are doing the basics really, really well. That way, when you do these other little things, you get the biggest impact. So The basics are simple. Let's keep it super simple. Food, water, movement, and rest. Let's just use it that simple. Food. You want your food to be as natural and as real as actually possible. Food that you can go out into nature and capture or harvest or pick or pluck from the ground. You want the most basic, natural, organic food to be a large part of the foundation of your food sources. Getting a lot of calls. Food sources. Water. You want to drink the highest quality water that you can find or get access to or invest in. A lot of people are out there buying high quality bottled water and they don't realize how much they're spending on it. But do the math at the gallon level. You might be surprised. But I will say this, your investment in water matters. It is fundamental to every biological and chemical system in your body. And if you remember, as a child, our water is in a water cycle, right? We pulled water from nature. We use water. We return water to nature with all of our additives, whether it be the stuff that comes from our body or from our factories or from our manufacturing or from our chemical plants or from our farming or from radiation that we create using all the technology we use. We run all of our water back through that. We return it back and then we reclaim that water once again with some of those elements still in it. So invest at a minimum in the best filter quality you can. I'm not even talking about enhanced water. I'm just talking about do the best you can to take out all of those negative bad things that are constantly being recycled. The concentration of those things like microplastics are just growing year by year by year. So drink good water. Move. You have to move purposefully, not just moving around at the bare minimum required to do the things you want to do in life. You know, there's a difference between moving from the couch to the refrigerator and back to the couch. That's movement, right? But that's totally different than that movement being compared to purposefully inserting a 45-minute walk into a cycle in your lifestyle, whether it be every day, every other day, once a week, whatever the cycle. Movement matters. All of life is in this dance with movement. Movement is feedback in many cases to how alive we are, but more importantly, how alive we need to be. The more you move today, the more you are preparing to be able to move when necessary in the future. And finally, rest. Rest should be on your schedule of activities. It should be scheduled, it should have priority, and you should have some structure around how and when you do it. And by rest, I don't just mean sleeping at night. I mean giving your sympathetic nervous system a rest, your fight or flight. Nature has given us this biochemical response to allow us to survive in this crazy wild world we live in. And our perception of stress and dangers in our environment are directly connected to our biochemistry. And we live in a world now where we generate these things that produce stress outside of the physical world we walk through. Animals don't wake up in the morning thinking about the conversation they're going to have with their boss or what's going on with the economy or the presidential cycle. Or they don't wake up in the morning thinking about how that person did that bad thing to them 5 years ago. Or they don't think that those type of thoughts are no different than us walking through the jungle and hearing a noise in the bush and biochemically wondering, should I prepare to fight or should I prepare to run for my life? So our bodies, the chemistry in our bodies of the modern bodies is being jacked up and down all day long. You need to find a way to systematically calm your sympathetic nervous system, whether that be just carving out time in your day to relax, your form of meditation, or there's a whole bunch of new emerging technologies like in vibrational therapy and sound therapy, all kind of things out there that you can now do to help calm your sympathetic nervous system so that you're not running out of control and revving your motor unnecessarily and wearing out all of your parts, aging faster, creating illnesses because all the unprocessed chemistry you generate as you sit in traffic, safe as can be. That's just a crazy world we live in. We are relatively more safe now than any other time in human history. But our survival-linked stress systems, you would think that we go from fighting, hour by hour, we're fighting tigers and lions and bears. Oh, freaking my. So those are the 4 things we must get under control. And if we get those things under control, now we're in a car that's at least moving down the road. The better we do those things, the faster we move. And then, like in that Formula One advertisement, we can add these little things in to, instead of putting one effort in and getting one result back, we can put one effort in and get 2 benefits back, 3, but we get synergy. We can get synergy. Those little nuanced things we can do related to health will have a much bigger impact when we master the basics. So that's the Formula One theory. Hope you take it into account, apply some elements of it to your plan, and plan on ending the year a better you or developing a better you starting now to some point in time. Make that a part of your plan, because if you don't plan for it, you're effectively waiting for it to just happen by accident. And that's the equivalent of saying you can throw a bunch of car parts in a garage and by accident they assemble themselves into a Formula One race car. Not going to happen. Needs to be thoughtfully engineered. And you, my friends, are both the person that needs to make the thoughts, the creator of the race car, and the race car driver himself. And most importantly, you get to choose what race you are racing.